Adrian Harrington sat in his downtown office, staring at the financial reports spread across his mahogany desk. As the founder and CEO of Harrington Tech Solutions, a software company that had revolutionized cloud computing, his personal wealth was estimated at just over $3 billion. But lately, none of it brought him any satisfaction. His divorce from Isabella had been finalized recently. She had taken a substantial settlement and moved to Paris with her personal trainer. There were no children. Isabella had never wanted them, and Adrian had been too focused on building his empire to push the issue. Now, sitting alone in his corner office with its panoramic city views, he wondered what it had all been for. His assistant knocked and entered. "Mr. Harrington, your car is ready for the charity board meeting." Adrian waved her away. "Cancel it. Cancel everything for a while." She looked shocked. Adrian Harrington never canceled anything. "Sir, are you feeling all right?" "I'm fine. I just need some time away. Tell the board I'll be out of contact for a few days." After she left, Adrian sat in the silence of his office and made a decision. He was tired of the fakery, tired of people treating him differently because of his money. He wanted to know what it felt like to be ordinary, to interact with people who had no idea who he was. He went home to his penthouse and changed into clothes he had never worn before: jeans from a department store, a plain flannel shirt, and worn work boots he had bought once for a photo opportunity at a construction site. He looked at himself in the mirror and barely recognized the man staring back. Without the tailored suits and the aura of power, he looked like any other middle-aged man. Adrian drove his oldest car, a beat-up truck he kept at his country house, into a neighborhood on the other side of town. It was a working-class area, the kind of place where people struggled to make ends meet but took pride in their community. He parked and walked until he found what he was looking for: a small diner called Rosie's with red vinyl booths and a worn but clean appearance. He went inside and slid into a corner booth. The place smelled like coffee and bacon, and there was a comfortable, lived-in feeling to it. A waitress approached, a woman in her 30s with blonde hair pulled back in a ponytail. She wore a white t-shirt with stains on it, and she looked tired, but her smile was genuine. "Welcome to Rosie's. What can I get you?" "Just coffee for now," Adrian said. "Thanks." She returned with a steaming cup and went back to her other tables. Adrian watched her work. She was efficient and kind, stopping to chat with the regulars, ruffling the hair of an elderly man who seemed to be a fixture at the counter. There was something about her that drew his attention: a warmth, a grace despite clearly being exhausted. He was so absorbed in watching the rhythm of the diner that he almost didn't notice the little girl who appeared beside his booth. She had blonde hair like the waitress and serious blue eyes. She wore a pink t-shirt that had seen better days. "Hi," she said. "I'm Ava. Are you new here? I haven't seen you before." "Yes, I'm new." "Do you come here often?" "I live here," she said matter-of-factly. "Well, nah, in the diner, but my mom works here, so I'm here a lot." "That's her." She pointed to the blonde waitress. "I see. She seems very nice. She's the best mom in the world," Ava said with absolute conviction. "She works really hard, so we can have a good life." The waitress noticed Ava talking to Adrian and hurried over, looking apologetic. "Ava, honey, don't bother the customers." "I'm so sorry." "Sir, she's not bothering me at all," Adrian said quickly. "She's delightful company." The woman smiled, and Adrian noticed how it transformed her tired face. "That's kind of you to say. I'm Sophia." Ava is supposed to be doing her homework in the back, but she gets lonely. "It's really no problem." Sophia started to turn away, then paused. "Have you decided what you'd like to eat?" Adrian looked at the menu. Everything was remarkably inexpensive. "What do you recommend?" "The meatloaf is good. Rosie makes it herself. It comes with mashed potatoes and vegetables. I'll have that. Thank you. As the afternoon wore on, Adrian found himself returning to Rosie's over the following days. He couldn't quite explain why. The food was good but simple. The atmosphere was comfortable but nothing special. Yet there was something about the place, about Sophia and Ava, that drew him back. He learned their story in pieces. Sophia was a single mother. Ava's father had left when she was a baby, and Sophia had been raising her alone ever since. She worked double shifts when she could, trying to save money for a better apartment for Ava's future. They lived in a small studio above a laundromat, but Sophia kept it spotless and filled with love. Ava did her homework at a corner table in the diner every afternoon, and she had started joining Adrian in his booth, chattering about school and her friends and her dreams of becoming a veterinarian someday. "Do you have kids?" Ava asked him one day. Adrian felt a deep pang of regret. "No, I don't." "Why not, Ava?" Sophia said, appearing with Adrian's coffee. "That's a personal question. It's all right," Adrian said. "The honest answer, Ava, is that I was always too busy with work. I thought I had plenty of time, and then suddenly I didn't." Sophia met his eyes, and he saw understanding there. "It's never too late," she said softly. "If you really want something, it's never too late to change course." During one visit to the diner, Adrian arrived to find Sophia looking distressed. She was moving quickly between tables, but he could see the worrying on her face. Ava sat in her usual corner, but instead of doing homework, she was curled up with her head on the table. When Sophia came to take his order, Adrian asked, "Is everything okay?" Sophia's professional smile wavered. "It's fine. What can I get you?" "Sophia, please. I can see something's wrong." She glanced around, then slid into the booth across from him for just a moment. "It's Ava. She's not feeling well. She's been running a fever for a couple of days, and I think I need to take her to the doctor. But I don't have health insurance right now, and the urgent care clinic wants payment upfront, and I don't get paid until Friday." She stopped, looking embarrassed. "I'm sorry. You don't need to hear this. How much do you need?" Adrian asked quietly. "What?" "No, I wasn't asking for money. I would never. I know you weren't, but I'm offering." "How much?" Sophia's eyes filled with tears. "I can't accept that. We barely know each other. Sometimes that's when it's easiest to help. No strings, no expectations, just one person helping another. Please." Sophia was silent for a long moment, pride warring with necessity on her face. Finally, she whispered, $200 would cover the visit and any medication she might need. Adrian pulled out his wallet, the simple one he had been carrying, and took out the cash he had withdrawn that morning. "Here's $400 for the doctor and for you to take the rest of the day off to care for her." "I can't." "Yes, you can. Your daughter needs you." Sophia took the money with shaking hands. "I'll pay you back, I promise. Every penny, only if you insist. But there's no rush." He watched as Sophia gathered Ava and her thanks. As she stopped to explain to Rosie, the owner, that she needed to leave, Rosie, a grandmother figure with gray hair and kind eyes, immediately agreed. As they left, Ava turned and waved at Adrian, and he felt his heart clench. Adrian stayed away from the diner for a while. He told himself he was giving them space, but truthfully, the experience had shaken him. The desperation in Sophia's eyes, knowing that a medical emergency for her daughter could be financially devastating, the reality that a few $100s was the difference between Ava getting care or not. It had awakened something deep within him. He sat in his penthouse and thought about all the money he had, all the resources at his disposal, and he wondered what he was doing with any of it. Yes, he had his charitable foundation. Yes, he donated to worthy causes, but he realized he had been writing checks to feel better about himself while remaining insulated from the actual struggles of real people. When he returned to Rosie's, Sophia spotted him immediately and hurried over. Adrian, I'm so glad you came back. I was afraid you wouldn't. Why wouldn't I? I don't know. I thought maybe I'd scared you off with my problems. She reached into her apron pocket and pulled out an envelope. I wanted to give you this. It's not all of it yet, but it's a start. $50, and I'll pay you the rest as soon as I can. Adrian pushed the envelope back toward her. Keep it. Use it for something Ava needs. I can't do that. You are so generous. Sophia, please. It would make me happy to know you used it for Ava. Maybe some new books or a treat. Whatever she needs. Sophia's eyes filled with tears again. Why are you so kind to us? You don't know us at all. Adrian thought carefully about his answer. He still hadn't told her who he really was, and he wasn't sure why. Maybe because this felt real in a way nothing in his life had felt in years. Maybe I needed to remember what really matters, and you and Ava reminded me. Over the following weeks, Adrian became a regular fixture at Rosie's. He came in for lunch most days, sometimes for dinner. He helped Ava with her math homework. He listened to Sophia's dreams of going back to school to become a nurse. He met the other regulars, construction workers, bus drivers, and retirees, and found he enjoyed their company more than the CEOs and power brokers he usually socialized with. He learned that Sophia had been a promising college student studying nursing when she got pregnant. Her boyfriend had left, her parents had been furious and cut her off, and she dropped out to work and raise Ava. She had been trying for years to save enough to go back to school, but something always came up: a car repair, an unexpected medical bill, the endless, grinding reality of living paycheck to paycheck. One evening, as Sophia was wiping down tables after the dinner rush, Ava came running up to Adrian's booth with a drawing. I made this for you, she announced proudly. It was a crayon picture of the three of them: Adrian, Sophia, and Ava standing in front of the diner with a bright yellow sun overhead. At the top, in careful letters, she had written "My family." Adrian felt emotion clog his throat. This is beautiful. Ava. Thank you. You're like a dad to me. Ava said seriously. I never had a dad before, but I think if I did, I'd want him to be like you. Sophia had approached and heard this last part. She looked stricken. Ava, honey, that's not Adrian is our friend, but we can't. It's okay, Adrian said softly, looking at Sophia. I'm honored that she feels that way. That night, after Ava fell asleep in one of the booths and Sophia covered her with a sweater, Adrian and Sophia sat together with coffee. I need to tell you something, Adrian said. Something I should have told you from the beginning. Sophia looked nervous. Okay, I haven't been completely honest with you about who I am. My name really is Adrian, but I'm not just some regular guy. I'm Adrian Harrington of Harrington Tech Solutions. Sophia stared at him. The Adrian Harrington, the billionaire. Yes. She stood up abruptly, her face flushing. Why didn't you tell me? God, you must have been laughing at me, at my pathetic problems, at my $200 emergencies. No, Adrian said urgently, standing too. Never that. I came here because I wanted to be treated like a normal person. I wanted to know what it felt like to be valued for who I am, not what I have. And you and Ava gave me that. You showed me what really matters. You showed me kindness without expecting anything in return. I don't understand. You're a billionaire. Why do you need anything from us? Adrian ran his hand through his hair. Because I was dying inside. Because I had everything and nothing at the same time. Because I'd forgotten what it meant to connect with people in a real way. And then I met you and Ava, and you reminded me. You gave me a reason to get up in the morning. You made me want to be better." Sophia sank back down into the booth, processing this. "So, what happens now? You've had your experience with the common folk, and now you go back to your real life. That's not what this is," Adrian said, sitting across from her. "Sophia, these past weeks have been the most genuine, the most meaningful of my entire life. I've fallen in love with Ava's laugh and her bright mind. I've fallen in love with your strength and your kindness. I've fallen in love with this diner and the community here. And I've fallen in love with you." Sophia's breath caught. "Adrian, I know I've deceived you by not telling you the truth from the start, and I'm sorry for that, but my feelings are real. What we've built is real, and I don't want to go back to my old life. I want this. I want you and Ava. I want to be the man Ava drew in that picture." Sophia's eyes filled with tears. "I don't know what to say. This is all so overwhelming. You're a billionaire. I'm a waitress with a young daughter and about $300 in savings. We're from different worlds. Money doesn't determine worth," Adrian said. "You've taught me that. You're one of the richest people I've ever met. Sophia, rich in love, in character, in everything that actually matters. I'm the one who's been poor." They talked for hours that night, long after the diner closed, with Ava sleeping peacefully in the booth. Sophia shared her fears that he would get bored of their simple life, that he would hurt Ava, that she wasn't sophisticated enough for his world. Adrian listened and addressed each concern with patience and honesty. "I'm not asking you to join my world," he said. "I'm asking if I can be part of yours, and maybe together we can build something new, something better." The relationship didn't develop quickly. Sophia was cautious, protective of herself and especially of Ava, but Adrian was patient. He continued to come to the diner. He met Sophia's friends, the ones who had stood by her when her family hadn't. He proved through consistent action over time that he was serious. He used his resources thoughtfully. He set up a trust fund for Ava's education, but he didn't overwhelm them with money. He helped Sophia enroll in online nursing classes, paying the tuition, but insisting she earned the degree herself. When the building where they lived was condemned, he bought them a modest house in the same neighborhood, not a mansion, but a safe, comfortable home. Most importantly, he showed up for Ava's school concerts, for Sophia's study sessions, for family dinners at Rosie's. He didn't try to change them or their life. He just joined it. Eventually, Adrian and Sophia were married in a small ceremony at Rosie's, surrounded by the people who mattered most. Ava was the flower girl, beaming with pride in her new dress. Rosie cried and took countless photographs. Adrian officially adopted Ava some time later. When the judge asked if she wanted Adrian to be her father, Ava's response was immediate and emphatic. "Yes, he's already my dad. This just makes it official." Adrian transformed his approach to business and philanthropy. He established programs to help working parents access affordable child care and health care. He created scholarships for single parents trying to finish their education. He worked with local communities to understand what they actually needed rather than imposing solutions from above. But his favorite role was the simplest one, being a husband to Sophia and a father to Ava, reading bedtime stories, helping with homework, making pancakes on Sunday mornings, attending parent-teacher conferences, the ordinary moments that had eluded him for so long. One evening, years later, the family sat together in their living room. Ava was working on an essay about someone who had influenced her life. She was writing about Adrian. "What made you decide to come into Mom's diner that day?" Ava asked. Adrian thought about how to answer. "I was lost," he said honestly. "I had everything anyone could want, but I felt empty inside. I wanted to know what it felt like to be normal, to be valued for who I was rather than what I had. And did you find it?" Ava asked. Adrian looked at Sophia, who smiled at him from where she sat grading papers for her nursing classes. She had graduated and was now working at the local hospital. He looked at Ava, brilliant and kind, already planning her future as a veterinarian. He looked around at their comfortable home, not grand, but filled with love. "I found something better," he said. "I found a family. I found purpose. I found out that the richest person isn't the one with the most money. It's the one with the most love." Sophia set down her papers and came to sit beside him, taking his hand. "We're the ones who are rich," she said. "Ava and you could have walked past that diner 100 times and never come in. You could have helped us once and then disappeared. But you stayed. You chose us day after day, even when it wasn't easy or glamorous. That's real wealth." Ava abandoned her essay and came to join them on the couch, squeezing in between her parents. "I'm glad you came into the diner," she said. "I'm glad you chose us." Adrian wrapped his arms around his wife and daughter, these two people who had saved him from a life of hollow success and lonely accomplishment. They had shown him what mattered. They had given him purpose and love and a reason to get up every morning. "I'm the lucky one," he said. "You took a lost, lonely man and taught him what it means to be truly wealthy, not in dollars, but in the things that actually count: love, family, connection. You gave me everything that matters." And as they sat together in their modest living room, in their comfortable middle-class house, in the neighborhood where Sophia had struggled for years, Adrian Harrington knew he was the richest man in the world, not because of the billions in his bank account, but because he had found what money could never buy: a family who loved him for exactly who he was, not what he had. Sometimes the greatest fortune comes not from what we accumulate, but from what we're willing to let go of. Adrian had let go of his pretenses, his isolation, his belief that success was measured in dollars and deals. And in return, he had gained everything that truly mattered. The diner on 5th Street had changed his life. But more accurately, to people, a hardworking mother and her bright, loving daughter had changed his life. They had shown him that kindness wasn't about grand gestures or huge donations. It was about showing up, about being present, about valuing people for who they are. And that lesson, Adrian knew, was worth more than all the money in the world.